Welcome to the XtremepowerUS video on how to troubleshoot your pool cleaner. Since not all pools are created equal, this video will go over some common issues to help you understand how to adjust your pool cleaner to work at optimal performance in no time. Once the cleaner is assembled, set the hose either through the vacuum line or the skimmer. Once the cleaner is set, move it to the furthest corner of the pool where it is able to reach the far end without excess to ensure proper movement. Please note, the cleaner may get stuck or the hose can get tangled if it is too long and reaches outside of the pool's parameters. The next step is to ensure you have one weight on the cleaner for every 3 feet of depth in your pool. We have included 3 weights in the package to begin with. If the cleaner does not move properly, such that it moves to the bottom or stays in the deep end, you need to purchase additional weights to ensure proper movement. Make sure that these start on the hose nearest to the cleaner, and then one on each hose, following that until you have added the appropriate amount of weights for your depth. From here on, adjust the weights up and down on the hose to ensure your pool cleaner sits at a 45-degree angle. Simply place your cleaner in the water and check the angle. Once it sits at 45 degrees, make no further adjustments. However, if it is leaning back or standing too tall, continue to adjust the weights. The next step is to make sure you have adjusted the regulator based on your pump's pressure. There is a regulator included that is installed near the suction line of your pool and set at halfway by default. Depending on your pump, you may have to adjust the springs on the regulator. If your pump is too strong and is causing the cleaner to get suctioned down and not move, adjust the springs on the regulator down on the ladder. This will allow pressure to release through the regulator and release the strength of a vacuum. If your pool pump is lower horsepower, adjust the springs up the ladder. This creates a higher resistance and forces the suction from the pump to mostly come through the cleaner. Another reason the cleaner may not move well may be due to the pump not suctioning well. Most pools have multiple areas where the suction flows to circulate the water. If you have a very strong pump, you may need to adjust the valve to allow water to flow through both suction ports. If you have a weaker pump, adjust the valve to ensure the suction is diverted only to the port where your cleaner is hooked up. If you find the sweet spot for the suction and want to change the flow when the cleaner is not operating, mark your valve where you have found works best for you in order to easily set it next time. This valve will also help if you have a drain at the bottom of your pool. If the cleaner is getting stuck on the drain, turn off the suction from the drain and place a cover over it in order to prevent the cleaner from getting stuck on top. This valve is found near the pool pump and piping. If you are not sure which diverts the suction, check with the pool tech prior to adjusting it for the first time to be safe. If the cleaner is only partially moving around the pool or is missing certain areas, simply adjust your eyeball diverter, which is attached to the return line of your pool. Some newer pools do not require this piece. However, for older pools, this piece will help change the flow of the water back into your pool. This will help change the circulation of the cleaner around the pool by simply turning it around so that the opening faces different directions. Keep in mind, if it is windy, the hoses may catch in the wind slightly and it will cause the cleaner to move around sporadically, but normally it will cover the full pool over time with the random circulation. If you have adjusted these parts and the cleaner still does not appear to be moving, there may be a couple reasons. First, check the gauge on your filter to see if it is full or clogged. If so, you may need to run a backwash to clear it out. Ensure you clean out filters on a regular basis in order for them to function properly and help keep your pump running longer. The gauge on the filter should range in the lower reading. If it is over 1/3 of the way up the gauge, there may be a blockage in the filter line. If the cleaner is hooked up and it causes the gauge to spike up on the pressure reading, adjust the regulator shown earlier in order for water to flow through the cleaner and partially through the regulator. Another reason for blockage is a skimmer basket containing debris. To prevent this, check the basket regularly to ensure it is free of debris. By doing so, it will help get the most flow from your pool pump. Also, if the skimmer basket is not inserted, make sure there is nothing plugging your piping like leaves or other debris. In the event that you do not hear the vibrating or hammer noise and you do not have any other blockage or pressure problems, it is likely you have a blockage on the actual cleaner. To check for this, simply turn the cleaner over by easily removing the parts to clean out the hammer wedge compartment. Movement can be prevented if a leaf or rock gets stuck in this area. Thus, check inside this compartment and clean out as needed. If this area is cleaned out, you should have a steady hammer noise on the cleaner while it is running. Chemical buildup at the hose connection points is another possibility for restricting movement. This typically happens when the cleaner is left in the water for a long period of time or not rinsed off sporadically with fresh water. In order to prevent this, change the hoses around with each other to break buildup and allow the connection points to move easily again. You may also do this if you see any air leaking into the lines while the cleaner is running. If you see one connection does not seem to fit tight, then that hose will most likely fit better in a different position with the rest of the hoses. If there aren't multiple hoses attached to the cleaner and they're still getting tangled, setting the hoses out in the sun and allowing them to reset themselves helps to soften them up a little. This is only needed if the hoses are stored for a long period of time and tightly wound. This cleaner is made to climb the wall of your pool up to about 3 feet from the top of the water line. This will only happen if you have a curved pool wall. If your wall is at 90 degrees, then the cleaner cannot climb the wall and will focus on the floor of the pool. Using a pool brush to get any dirt off the wall will drop it to the floor of your pool, where the cleaner can do the rest of the work for you. If you notice the cleaner getting stuck in a corner or on the stairs, go back to the eyeball diverter and make sure there isn't too much hose in order for the cleaner to be able to change direction. You may purchase a ladder or stair guards to assist, but adjusting our included pieces may also solve the problem and is a much cheaper option. If you do have any questions or this does not solve the issue, please do not hesitate to contact us via email, customer@XtremepowerUSA.com, or call 909-628-0880 between 9 a.m. and 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time.